this is Anshu Jain from Qatar Day, and today I've got a very important update for you all. And this update is regarding the no objection certificate and the wages. Yes, exactly. NOC is no longer required to change job or sponsors in Qatar. So expats in Qatar no longer need a no objection certificate from their present employer or sponsor when they want to switch jobs, even if their employment contract is still valid or a sponsorship is still valid. This will be effective as of the announcement of the Public Gazette, according to a press release from the Ministry of Administrative Development, Labour and Social Affairs on the Government and the Government Communications Office. Up until today, under Qatar's kafala, which is the Arabic word for sponsorship system, expats in Qatar had to get their employer's permission, that is no objection certificate, before changing jobs. But now the rules are changed. The International Labour Organization in Qatar also published a press release hailing the decision of the Qatari government. And it says, in a historic move, the state of Qatar has introduced major changes to its labour market, ending the requirement for migrant workers to obtain their employer's permission to change jobs, while also becoming the first country in the region to adopt a non-discriminatory minimum wage. Following the adoption on 30th August 2020 of Law Number 18 of 2020, migrant workers can now change jobs before the end of their contract without first having to obtain a no objection certificate from their employer. This new law, coupled with the removal of exit permit requirements earlier in the year, effectively dismantles the kafala. In addition to removing the need to obtain a no objection certificate, the adoption of Law Number 19 of 2020 provides greater clarity regarding the termination of employment. To terminate an employment contract and change jobs, workers must provide at least 1 month's written notice if they have worked with the employer for 2 years or less, or 2 months' notice if they have worked with the employer for over 2 years. The new standards are aligned with the human and economic development goals of Qatar's 2030 national vision. The standards will attract talented and ambitious workers from overseas, protect their rights, and ensure their safety. Now, what are the terms and conditions for obtaining a NOC in Qatar, or without no objection certificates, what is the process for terminating a contract? The no objection certificate requirement to change jobs for employees has been eliminated. This will come into effect immediately upon its publication in the official gazette. Employees and employers will be able to terminate contracts, whether fixed term or open-ended, subject to a minimum notice period. Either party must provide 1 month written notice in the first 2 years of the contract, or 2 months notice beyond the second year of the contract. And if the contract is terminated without appropriate notice, the party terminating is obligated to pay the other party a compensation equal to the basic wage of the employee for the notice. Now, what is the significance of these measures in the region? No other country in the region provides a non-discriminatory minimum wage for workers. This reform is the first of its kind in the Middle East. The law is non-discriminatory. Every worker receives a minimum wage regardless of nationality, industry, or job. Minimum wages that have been implemented in other parts of the Middle East only apply to certain nationalities. The removal of the no objection certificate requirement will increase the mobility of talent within Qatar and give workers the freedom to change jobs. This severs the contractual ties to their employer and will lead to increased job satisfaction. Now, what does non-discriminatory wage mean? The non-discriminatory minimum wage of Qatari Riyals 1800 applies to workers in Qatar's private sector regardless of job roles and nationalities. In furtherance of Qatar's efforts to protect the interest of employers and employees alike, the Ministry of Administrative Development, Labour and Social Affairs has today taken a major step forward in its labour reform program, introducing a non-discriminatory minimum wage and removing the no objection certificate requirement to change jobs for employees. Now, how much is the minimum wage? According to Law Number 17 of 2020, on setting the minimum wage for workers and domestic workers, sets the minimum wage for all private sector workers, including domestic workers, at Qatari Riyals 1,000 per month as a basic wage, as well as Qatari riyals 500 per month allocated by the employer for accommodation and expenses, and Qatari riyals 300 per month for food, unless the employer already provides adequate food or accommodation for the employee or domestic worker. Now, how will it be enforced? Qatar's state cabinet has passed a draft law to increase the financial and non-financial penalties for companies violating labor laws, including in cases of delayed salary payments. The authorities will be working with employers to update their employment contracts and ensure they are in line with the new legislation within the next 6 months. A minimum wage committee will be formed and tasked with frequently studying and reviewing the minimum wage of employees and domestic workers. If a company currently has employees on its payroll system who earn less than the amount set out above, this must be amended in accordance with the new minimum wage. If the payroll system contains wages that are above these amounts, employers must not breach the terms of the contract by lowering the wages. Workers are being educated to make sure they understand their rights and know how to access the help available to enforce those rights. Now, how will this create more competition and innovation in the country? The new laws are setting a new standard for the region and make Qatar a more attractive destination for talented and skilled workers. These decisions will drive greater competitions in Qatar's labor market, pushing employers to attract and retain the best talent who will support Qatar's transition to a diversified economy. A diversified economy will attract further investment in the local economy and nurture an innovative environment. The new decisions add to an already dynamic labor market where employees are able to gain new skills. Now, we need to understand, for the sake of the people who do not know, what is a no objection certificate. So what is a no objection certificate? The no objection certificate, or NOC, is a letter of clearance stating that the previous employer has no objections about the employee finding another job at another company. This frees the employee from any obligations towards the previous employer and allows them to find a new job and a new sponsor. In the last 2 years, Qatar announced a number of sweeping reforms to its labor market with a view to ending the kafala system and making the system much more feasible for everyone. This latest step is just another step forward for expats who will now be able to change their jobs without requiring an NOC. On 16 October 2019, the Council of Ministers of Qatar had unanimously approved a new legislation allowing workers to change employers freely. Workers in Qatar had previously required an NOC from their employer in order to do so. Qatar has announced the new minimum wage law. So this is one of the biggest transformations that has happened today, and we can see the process is easing out and it has become much more comfortable for everyone to switch jobs, to change jobs, and they do not require any permission, any no objection certificate from their employees or the current sponsor they're working under. In case you need to switch jobs or you're looking for a new opportunity, all you need to do is to serve that minimum term which is required. If the tenure of your work in that particular company is less than 2 years, then you need to serve a notice period of 1 month. But if your tenure is more than 2 years, then you need to serve a notice period of nearly 2 months. And with that, by serving this particular notice period or informing your organization about the same, even if you are an employer and you're willing to terminate your employee, so you need to give them the equal amount of notice period. And with that, both the employer and employee can carry out the procedure, the process, without the requirement of any no objection certificate. At the same time, for all the workers who are working here, the authorities will be educating you all very soon about the terms and conditions of the wages. That is the minimum wages that you should be getting. It is the basic wage that you should be getting. The basic pay is 1,000 riyals. Along with that, your employer should be paying you for the accommodation, which is equivalent to 500 riyals, and it is also for the other expenses. Apart from that, for your food and all, your employer must pay you a minimum wage of 300. This condition is not applied only in case you are getting the accommodation and proper food and other facilities by your employer. And in case you are not getting that, in case you are not getting that, in that scenario, you will be paid a minimum wage of 1,800 riyals. Otherwise, if your employer is providing you with the proper accommodation and the food facility and other basic facilities, in that scenario, the minimum wage that you would be getting is 1,000 riyals. So So this is the new change, this is the new law which is being enforced, which is going to get enforced very soon. And we are seeing Qatar moving towards a different area, different scenario, wherein it is making the process much more feasible for the employees and the employers, for the benefits and the rights of both of them. This will definitely provide a lot more opportunities to many talented people, and the companies would understand the importance of skilled employees such that they are able to retain them. And it is even a better facility for you as well if you are looking for a change, if you are looking for a new opportunity. And so far you were unable to do that because you were not getting the proper no objection certificate from your organization, and hence you were not able to execute whatever you wanted to. So now this law is enforced wherein there is no requirement of no objection certificate for you to change or switch jobs. At the same time, if the employees are willing to terminate the employees with a 1 month or 2 month notice, depending upon the time, the period that they are spending, the employees have spent in the company, they can terminate them easily, and the employees can also look for a switch, for a change without any requirement of no objection certificate. So definitely this law is going to be helpful to many who are looking for a change, at the same time for the rights of the laborers, for the rights of the workers who have been fighting for their minimum wages. Finally, this law has come into force, into action, wherein we are seeing the minimum wages for the workers is going to be Qatari Riyals 1800, and this is what they really deserve. This is their basic right. So I'm pretty sure that this new law is going to be really helpful to many around you. In case you have any queries, any questions, you can drop in the messages in the chat box, and we are available for you for all the solutions, for all the queries that you are having, and we will try our level best to get you the proper answer to all your queries. For more such updates, keep following Qatar Day on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. At the same time, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Qatar Day, and don't forget to visit our website, that is qatarday.com, for daily news and updates. This is Anshu Jain, your host for this segment, signing off for now. Thank you.